Hello and welcome to Gegenpressing, the Bundesliga podcast. This is the Champions League reaction show. I'm Manuel. He's Stefan Bienkowski. Today's game, we're going to break this up. Usually we do all the games at once, but we decided this week, because we have two German teams playing, we're going to do a reaction show to each game. And obviously this is the first one. Leipzig at home against Real Madrid. The final result, 1-0 for Real. Have to add here, very decimated Real Madrid side. A very experimental backline. Don't worry, we get into all of that. Yet a Leipzig side that looked at times disjointed and devoid of ideas and lacked finishing. I think that is a very quick summary of what we saw here. Obviously, we're going to go into more detail. Stefan, we have a lot to discuss here. First impressions here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think frustration would be the main word if I was a Leipzig fan. It really felt to me like Real Madrid were there for the taking, and in the kind of opening 10 minutes, that's exactly what it looked like it would happen. Leipzig obviously had that goal ruled out, which I'm sure we can jump into in greater detail, but it's still, to my mind, an absolutely baffling call. Maybe there's a referee out there who could explain it in the comments for us, but and I can understand, there's a technicality aspect to it where, there's one player who's near the Real Madrid goalkeeper, blah, blah, blah. It's at best, it's referees overprotecting goalkeepers again, and at worst, it's just a truly dreadful call. But, it'd be one thing if Leipzig had actually got that goal and then became complacent, but they didn't get that goal and they still did become complacent, because throughout the match, I was honestly just kind of pulling my hair out at the lack of intent from Leipzig, the inability to really kind of put Real Madrid to the sword. And, it then ultimately kind of came about from a really incredible kind of solo move by Diaz, an incredible goal, to be honest, as well. But you can't really say it wasn't coming, Manu, can you? Because Real Madrid, for all the possession that Leipzig had, they just didn't seem interested in doing anything with it.
And it was too easy for Diaz, the way he got into that position. It is a great goal, but A, how he got there, and B, I think we saw why Gulaxi lost his starting position to Balašević at the start of the season. He looks slow off the line. He doesn't reach the sort of altitude that you want to have on a save like that there. Kind of falls almost, right? And I would say a top-class goalkeeper probably does a little bit better there. I'm not saying you have to stop it, but he just doesn't even get close to it. And yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they ultimately ruled as a foul by Benjamin Henrichs on the Šeško goal. I mean, I'm a goalkeeper myself, but I'm sorry. Luna is like 2 meters tall and 220 pounds. If he can't protect himself in that 6-yard box, he's playing the wrong sport. I don't think he needs the referee protection there. So I think it's a dreadful call. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like, even with that, maybe it was that goal. Maybe would have seen a very different performance by this Leipzig side if that goal would have stood. But I think what really struck me here is that they do create enough opportunities, but they do not necessarily create the intent to actually finish those opportunities. And when you actually look at the stats, it's very balanced, right? In terms of passes, pass completion, amount of possession, it's very even. Shots and goals, 14-15. It's very much a balanced game, and I think even Real, if this game had finished 1-1 or 0-0, they were probably going to say, okay, well, we're going back to Bernabeu now and we'll just finish the job there. For Leipzig, this was all about ensuring that they go into Bernabeu maybe with a win. And I think what really frustrated me here is that you didn't see anyone taking this game by its hair and just dragging it across the line, right? I was saying this to the Substack chat, and I said this in another chat as well. This game screamed for someone like Emil Forsberg, someone who's experienced, who's battle-hardened, who's been there in the trenches, who's seen it all. who can just take all these young guys that have all the talent in the world without maybe having the experience on how to use it at the biggest stage, and just, for lack of different words, kick them in the ass and get it done, And that is, I think, I've been watching Leipzig now, through over the course of this entire season, and I think the balance is off here. I think this is a squad that is full of talent. Benjamin Sesko is a great example, right? How many times does he get himself into scoring opportunities? And Javi Simons is another one, right? How many times did he get himself into scoring opportunities? Does all the fancy footwork to get there and just misses out on finishing it. And it's all there. All the talent in the world is there. What isn't there is the experience and the intent to actually put the finishing touch on it.
Yeah, I know it's an old cliche, but Leipzig gave Real Madrid way too much respect. It was as if they stepped onto the pitch, they saw the Real Madrid badges and thought, holy cow, we're playing Real Madrid here. We have to be careful. We have to second guess everything. We have to make sure all our passes connect. We can't take any risks. We can't play any hopeful through balls in the final third because we're playing Real Madrid, and they'll obviously pounce on any mistakes we play. But it was Real Madrid, but it wasn't Real Madrid because obviously they're missing Antonio Rudiger, they're missing Militao, they're missing Courtois, they're missing Bellingham, they're missing David Alaba. When I saw that lineup for Real Madrid with Tchouaméni and Nacho Fernandez at centre-back, I thought, that's probably one of the weakest Real Madrid defences I've seen in the last 10 years. If you go across that entire back four, obviously Tchouaméni's a very talented player, but he's a central midfielder. I know he's played left-back at times, he's played defence.
He's never played central midfield there.
Yeah, well, of course, but...
You're right, of course.
I must admit, of all the defenders for Real Madrid tonight, I actually thought he's probably one of the better ones. But, let's be honest, if Ancelotti had his full squad without any injuries, all four of those players wouldn't have played in those positions, as well as the goalkeeper, Lunin, who I actually thought looked incredibly ropey between the posts. He made some good saves, but couldn't hold on to a ball for love or money. So it just felt to me like, and this probably fits into what you were saying about the lack of experience, maybe a lack of cool heads, a lack of a grizzled veteran who has actually beaten Real Madrid at Leipzig, which actually happened only a few years ago. But a few years ago is a long time at Leipzig where there's wholesale changes every season. And it definitely felt like a lot of those younger players, or even just the players who maybe haven't played at this level as much, stepped onto the pitch, saw those Real Madrid badges, and they just suddenly turned into wallflowers.